In the past, I've looked at cancelled LEGO themes and cancelled LEGO sets, but in this video, I want to look at a range of cancelled LEGO media, something that has become such a central part of the brand, from things like video games, big budget movies, and TV shows like Ninjago. But over the past 20 years, there have been a number of these media adaptations that were cancelled and never saw the light of day. So I'll be telling you all about them and showing you all the information about this lost media. So please watch the full video, as there is genuinely LEGO media in here that I've never seen before. So what's up LEGO fans, it's LEGO Man Cam, and first let's start with a cancelled LEGO video game DLC for the underrated LEGO Hobbit game. If you don't know, DLC stands for downloadable content, and this would be an additional expansion for the Hobbit game, which first released in 2014. This DLC would have added content for the third Hobbit movie, The Battle of the Five Armies, as when the game released, only The Unexpected Journey and The Desolation of Smaug movies had released. I think this game goes really under the radar as compared to the Lord of the Rings LEGO game, as this one only had content from 2/3 of the trilogy, but was still a fun game nonetheless. I remember all of the dwarfs having their different abilities. It's unknown why this was cancelled, since the game essentially finishes on a cliffhanger, but the game is known to not be one of the more popular LEGO games, and the Hobbit movies weren't as well received as the Lord of the Rings were. But it honestly just seems like a really weird decision for LEGO to release and make this game before all three movies were out. But I guess they did that with The Force Awakens too. Going from a video game, let's now look at a cancelled season of one of the most thriving LEGO themes of all time, that being LEGO Ninjago. This is season 12 and 13, which were originally designed to be one singular season, rather than being split into two like we all know. These seasons were Prime Empire and Master of the Mountain, with Prime Empire being when the ninja entered a video game, and Master of the Mountain having the ninja explore the depths of Shintaro, with a character focus on Cole. This makes sense as to why these seasons were designed together, as season 11 of Ninjago spans a full year worth of episodes, and so does season 14 and 15. However, 12 and 13 were only about half the length of those other Wild Brain seasons. I'm unsure why these seasons were designed together, as they do seem vastly different. However, they are both somewhat tied to games, with 12 being a video game and then 13 being like Dungeons and Dragons. We know this through some concept art for the theme, which shows the rat characters in the Skull Sorcerer's dungeon, paired with other futuristic elements like the Kitanas. Thankfully, what we got in the end was good, as these are two decent seasons of Ninjago, and we'll be discussing another cancelled Ninjago season later in the video. But first, let's flip back to another cancelled LEGO video game. This was LEGO James Bond. Now, all the way back in 2005, literally 20 years ago now, there was a TT Games test animation which featured Indiana Jones as well as James Bond, showing that LEGO was thinking of making a game at the time. Supposedly, this wasn't followed through on due to the fact that James Bond was deemed too dark and gritty for LEGO's family values. This was later brought up again 10 years later with LEGO Dimensions, where James Bond was once again on the table. However, Mission Impossible was chosen as a replacement instead, with Bond potentially coming out in the later years of the game, but as we all know, Dimensions did not make it to that eventual third year, so this never saw its entry into the game. Then, only about half a year ago, we got some leaked footage for a trailer for an official LEGO James Bond standalone game, looking to be based off of Daniel Craig's line of films. Not only would this have been amazing, but I'm sure this could have given LEGO scope to make levels and content based on all other Bond movies too. Once again, this was cancelled due to the mature subject matter, but also the fact that I doubt this would have been the biggest seller, especially now with James Bond seemingly disappearing over the past few years, and Mission Impossible smashing box office records. Speaking of smashing box office records, next is a movie that sadly never got the chance to break any records, a LEGO movie that I was totally unaware of before making this video, and that is The Billion Brick Race. This was announced back in 2015 to be the third LEGO movie installment, following the LEGO Batman movie, and would be written and directed by Drew Pearce, but also Jason Segel, who I love from How I Met Your Mother. This film would have been about a giant car race and even has some concept art images made available by Drew Pearce on Instagram. This film was initially pitched in 2014, with Lloyd and Miller approving it, who you may have heard of before from making the original LEGO movie, but also being the creatives behind the Spider-Verse films. It has been said that this would be a 70s inspired movie and have a giant psychedelic cannonball run type spectacular race. It was scheduled to release in May of 2019, however, with the creatives looking to work on other projects, it was indefinitely delayed. With then the underperformance of the LEGO Movie 2 and the franchise being sold to Universal Pictures, it seemed as though this movie is dead, which is incredibly sad. I feel there are so many more stories that could still be told in incredibly fun LEGO movies, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. So from a cancelled billion brick race, let's look at a $1 billion video game that nearly had a LEGO Star Wars collaboration in the early 2010s. This is Roblox, the biggest game in the world right now, which was set to have a LEGO Star Wars Clone Wars collaboration that was ultimately cancelled. Just quickly though, if you do enjoy my videos and haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to help us reach our goal of 40,000. It's the best thing you can do to help the channel grow. The details of this in-game event aren't fully available, but what was found are that some in-game assets were going to be used, such as this really cool Clone Trooper skin, which players would be able to buy, strangely using the wrong legs for a 2010s era clone. There was then a Darth Vader skin, again, wrong because it was using a TIE fighter pilot torso instead of the regular Darth Vader one. Two more assets were found, being a rangefinder or scope piece, and then a regular blue lightsaber as well. It's unknown how far in production this collaboration actually got, but it is speculated to have been cancelled due to the Disney acquisition of Star Wars in the same year. This is where so many Star Wars projects got cancelled. I mean, even the Clone Wars itself got cancelled when Disney bought Star Wars, and they had to revive it years later. And thank God they did. This Clone Wars promotion is honestly probably the weirdest thing on this list, and it's a collaboration between a major franchise in Star Wars, a toy company in LEGO, and a game in Roblox. This could potentially be seen as a predecessor for Star Wars in Fortnite now, which is a core part of the LEGO Fortnite experience to this day. I mentioned earlier that there would be another Ninjago season on this list, and I think it's probably time now to get into that. This cancelled season is the most speculative entry on the list, being a Ninjago season set in space. This was originally a concept theme for the show, discussed around the theme's third season, so very early when we look back at the show's history now. But this was when the Hageman brothers, Dan and Kevin, who will be helming the live-action Ninjago adaptation, coming sometime in the future, discussed having a season set in outer space, where the ninja would fight aliens. We can see that this concept was discussed and eventually turned into an episode in Ninjago's third season, rebooted, being episode 33, The Void. If you remember, this is the episode where the ninja go into space to find the dismantled golden weapons after they were blasted into space during the episode Wrong Place, Wrong Time. The ninja were in a spaceship and even given color-coded astronaut outfits. However, this was the only time we saw the ninja in space before they returned to Ninjago for the season finale. It was ultimately Tommy Andreasen that decided against a season in space, stating that LEGO has had many other space properties. I'm thinking back to something like Galaxy Squad at the time, and it didn't really fit with the theme of Ninjago. Overall, I think this was the right call. However, we have now had really crazy concepts in Ninjago as well, something like Seabound being a season set underwater, or Season 12 Prime Empire, like I mentioned earlier, being a season where the ninja were trapped in a video game. Let's now go back to another cancelled LEGO movie, and for me, this one hurts perhaps the most on this list. This is a sequel to the LEGO Batman movie. Personally, the LEGO Batman movie is my favorite of all the LEGO movies, as Will Arnett is one of my favorite actors from my favorite show, Arrested Development, and this movie was just so funny.
My name's Richard Grayson, but all the kids at the orphanage call me Dick.
Well, children can be cruel.
Yeah.
It was in 2018 that Chris McKay, the director of the first Batman movie, announced that a sequel was in development, with him returning to direct as well. In 2021, McKay revealed that the script for the film would be written by Michael Waldron and Dan Harmon, which really surprised me. If you don't know, Michael Waldron is a big name writer in modern Marvel, writing Loki, Doctor Strange 2, and the upcoming Avengers Doomsday movie. And then Dan Harmon is not only the creator of Rick and Morty, but also Community, which is another show that's up there on my list of favorites. Anyway, the sequel would now explore Batman's relationship with the Justice League, particularly Superman, and then the main villains of the film would be Lex Luthor and OMAC, a lesser known DC villain. I think this would have been just hilarious, and the mere fact that we would have seen more of Green Lantern would have definitely sold me a ticket to go see this film. The movie was slated for release in December of 2022, but was entirely scrapped once Universal acquired the rights to Lego Movies, taking the franchise in a different direction. Regardless, I do wish that we do see this movie one day, purely so I can get more of Will Arnett as Batman, but sadly, I don't think it's coming anytime soon. Last is something that I genuinely was shocked by when I did the research for this video, as I had never heard of this before, despite my years of being a fan of Lego. I think this might be though, because it was a little bit before my time, as it was back in 2005 where there was going to be a Lego Tomb Raider video game. Yes, you heard that right, Lara Croft was set to get a Lego minifig adaptation and a full playable game, in the same style as the classic TT Lego games, which actually this would have been one of the founding Lego TT games when it released. Supposedly, TT games didn't feel like Tomb Raider on its own would be enough to sell a video game, so they actually reached out to Lucasfilm, who they already had an established relationship with through the Lego Star Wars games, to discuss a Tomb Raider and Indiana Jones crossover Lego video game. Firstly, that sounds insane and like a really sick collaboration, but secondly, Lucasfilm did not like this proposal at all and instantly shot it down, perceiving Tomb Raider as having stolen ideas from the Indiana Jones franchise. This game was later scrapped and LEGO released just a standalone Indiana Jones game, which we all know today. This is really odd to me, as like we've never seen any Tomb Raider or Lara Croft LEGO rumors or collaboration news ever since this date 20 years ago. Even in Fortnite, a game that has Lara Croft as a playable character, she does not have a Lego style at all, unlike so many other franchises like Avatar: The Last Airbender and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which aren't current Lego franchises. Sadly, this idea didn't make it far enough into development to have much data or footage other than what I've been showing on screen, but I truly think this would have been awesome. So with that being said, that is all I'm going to be looking at in this video. Please comment down below what video game, movie, or Ninjago season do you wish got made the most, and please subscribe to help us reach our goal of 40,000.